Hey guys, it's Jennifer Cramer, the Success Sorceress here. So today we are dropping inside the sanctuary Mavis, the marketing maven. So, one of the things that people might not know about their business is that you don't actually have a problem with your execution. You don't have a problem with doing what you do. I believe people who are attracted to me are very, very talented people. What they do have problems with is clarity of their message. And so, one of the things that Mavis does is she interviews you, talks to you about your business, and you just basically press the little mic and you talk about your business. She'll ask you questions about your business. And then what she does is she helps you create clarity in your message so that people become buyers instead of triers. Because we've all had a ton of freaking people tire kicking. That's one of the things that drives me crazy in business for sure is a lot of people looking at your business and not trying your business and definitely not buying your business. So, as you can hear from my voice, I'm not really all that well, but I was really, really committed to having this broadcast today. And before we got online, I was talking to Carrie about my big why. So, I'm going to tell you about Mavis, but before I do that, I'm going to tell you about my big why. So, I grew up in quite a chaotic family, and Carrie and I were talking about agency. And so, agency is the ability to make choices for yourself, the ability to have the reserves. The four pillars are happy, healthy, wealthy, loved. So for me, those are the four pillars of success. And everything that I do is aiming my clients at happy, healthy, wealthy, loved. And when you have those four things, you have what I would call true agency. You have the ability to advocate for yourself and make choices based on what's good for you. Also, have the appropriate amount of energy, and the energy could be anger, to be able to move ahead in your life. You know, if somebody's preventing you or making your life not good, then you have the appropriate amount of whatever it is that needs to go towards them in order to be able to have the life that you need. Now, I grew up in a chaotic family. There were lots and lots of things happening in that family, and I did not have agency. I was saying to Carrie, I probably only had my agency start to come online in my 30s, and it came online as anger, as it always does, and kind of outrage, like how dare you take that much of my life from me? Uh, and I kind of still have a bit of that. And I wonder if that feels true for you guys, that there are some things in your life preventing you from having that happy, healthy, wealthy, loved. And then Carrie and I were talking about wealthy. Well, in your astrology charts, in your gene keys, especially charts and human design, the way that wealth comes to you is a very specific frequency. So if you don't know what that frequency is, you actually need to know it. I remember when I found out in Gene Keys, there's something called the attractor sphere. And when I found out what it was like mind blown, absolutely mind blown. I'm like, okay, so I don't need to um, worry, I think is the word that I want to say, about how people find me and what people think that they're going to get from me, to just know, okay, well, that's the frequency. And then we go into the Jupiter in your human design. Well, there's six different frequencies of Jupiter. And just for example, myself is frequency two, which is, I think it's called recognition, but it's also like a conduit. People are like, oh, yeah, Jennifer, that's what she does. But also, I'm a conduit. I was saying to Carrie, it's like I make decent money and I spend decent money, and I have to be out in the world. So coming up, I'm having an adventure. I'm going to Mexico to dance tango, and then I'm taking myself to DJ camp because I have just a ton of music inside me, and I really want to explore that option for myself to be able to do some really cool and fun things with music. So back to Mavis. So what I see happening is people kind of have an idea of what a marketing manager will do for them, but they don't have the coin and they just don't have the coin. And so, they're, pardon my French, fucking around on ChatGPT, trying to do this job with zero expertise. And so what I've done is specifically I've written a bot that has the expertise of 12, 13 different marketing gurus, like what their idea is about how you market. So there's 13 different approaches that this bot, Mavis, could run in your business, but she's going to interview you. And again, it's never an execution. It's just what you're saying. It's conversion. And that's like every time it's conversion. And can I have these conversations with you? Yeah. Can I see what the conversion problem is? Yeah. But you know what's much more fun with for me, like if I am working with you one-on-one, um, is for you to have had this conversation with Mavis and be able to tell me like, oh, well, this is the type of marketing that I used to have before. It was disjointed. I was symptom focused or something if you're a naturopath, or I was like handshake agreement focused if you are business for self, say you have an engineering firm or something like that. Um, I tend to have a very science background, so you don't actually have to be like me. I just plug in really nicely to a science background because as a Virgo, I'm very data focused, I'm very systems focused. And then we go into the somatics, we go into the energetics, we go into all the witchy woo things that I know how to do as well. And you just end up feeling better because you're clear. And I would say, one of the most important things to me is that people have the amount of money, and I was saying this to Carrie, that, if it turns out something weird happens in the world, something weird happens with your profession, not 6 months of whatever they call it, emergency funds. I would like you to have 6 years of emergency funds and to be able to make choices based on having money instead of chasing money because people can really really feel that on you. I don't know if you've had times in your life where you really felt like I better close a deal, I better close a deal. And people are so sensitive, like especially these new generations of children. Like if you're working with people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, um yeah, if you need the money, they don't operate on scarcity. They absolutely don't. So sorry, parents, you did a really great job of your kids. They are not that manipulatable. Um, what's the last thing that I want to leave you with, you guys? So Mavis is the 12th bot, Carrie? Okay, 12 bots. And we will end up at the end of the year. We were aiming at 46, and now I've got two more bots that I definitely have to write because people are asking me about how to create loving relationships with human design, with astrology, with gene keys. And it's very easy for me to create a bot for you that can speak to all of that. And then over the Christmas holidays, I got the awareness that people need a bot that tells them what direction that they are going to go through the Success Seeker Sanctuary. So I'm going to put together a bot that will interview you and then recommend your first 4 weeks in the sanctuary, like who they want you to work with. Just for example, say you don't have a clear offer, then you have to work with Brian. And just for example, if you're crying every night in your pillow about the state of your life, then you have to work with Sybil. You have to work with Guillermo. Um, and then once you get steady, probably Francesca or maybe Cassandra, who's my personal favorite. I know that Carrie's favorite is Francesca. So it's like you will end up with your favorites, but we really want you to get a jump start out of the gate with the sanctuary. And the sanctuary, again, is created to help you have agency, to help you build sovereignty, to help you build a solid core. So everybody that you impact has a positive vibe from you and you feel perfect. You just feel so safe inside your body, so safe inside your world. You are happy, healthy, wealthy, and loved, fully switched on. And I really feel like that's my mission. That's my mission. Growing up in a chaotic environment, none of those things were available to me when I was supposed to be protected. And so I have a big protector vibe, especially for people who own their own business. I really want you to be in front of the people who not only want to pay you the right money, but they advocate for you to have more business. They're your super fans. And they're not trying to like be weird and bleed into your private life. They're just enjoying all of the talents that you are expressing in the universe. So that's what I want to leave you with. I think you can click around. I'm going to find you the link to get into the Success Seeker Sanctuary. It is very reasonably priced. I was saying to Carrie, there's everything that you need to do to have your 2026 launch or new product offer or new offering. You can discuss that with Brian until I get my navigator bot set up. I would start with Brian. He's fucking great. I have another sanctuary member. Um, she's now said that she spent like basically like 70 hours with Brian on her new launch. And I was like, okay, girl, that's probably enough, Brian. I know he's like foxy and fun, but I would get on to Eric and start building your content. Um, but yeah, I really care deeply about you being happy, healthy, wealthy, and loved in this lifetime. And, this is my main event right now is the Success Seeker Sanctuary. I will be launching something but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. So super love you. Take care. Ciao, guys.